This is episode 274 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dio Morales, and today I'm joined by Will, Copy, Paste, List, and Win. Hakewood.
It's okay to net list. Everyone does it.
Ryan, pacifism is a way to victory. Staniszewski.
It's quite the rabbit hole I've gone down, but it's very peaceful.
And James, staycation, Ritter.
Yeah, just coming off of actually in the middle of a little staycation, a little break from work, and I got a little sun today at the spa, so it's great.
James went to the spa.
It was amazing. You should do it. They have like pregnancy spa days for your wife if you want.
Yeah, like my wife I've sent her several times.
Oh, okay.
Right, like, but like it's all right. You go, do you?
It's good for you. Mental health.
It is. All right, so we're going to start with announcements and news first. If you remember from last week, I put out the call that we're going to try to save TTT. I got some ideas for how we could develop it in the future and all that, and I got a ton of people who reached out. I believe I got back to everybody saying, send me your email and your name. And so I can gather all the peeps together and basically send out a single blast and say, okay, here's the mission, here's the vision. Are you guys in? So basically, if you're still interested in helping, feel free to reach out. At least by like Tuesday would be great, and the end of day on Tuesday, because I want to get that email out so we can get this ball rolling. Super excited about that. And remember, our podcast episodes are brought to you by our GSP patrons. And an update there, if you didn't see our tags, if you didn't see our post on Patreon or the tag on Discord, Andrew Knuckles, the runner-up for Gen Con, and also our shipper for Patreon stuff, unfortunately did fall ill, which is why things haven't shipped out yet. So as soon as I know, you will know. But I did get to see the acrylics. We actually had them in person at Gen Con. They look super sweet, and everything is there. We just, once he's cleared to head basically out into the world, then that stuff will get out. So looking forward to that. Now, our first topic of the day involves a special guest, a man near and dear to my heart, Daniel Lim, a.k.a. Isofane. How you doing, my friend?
Hello. How's everyone doing today?
I think we're feeling pretty good. So, we brought you on the show because a master plan has unhatched, is currently unfolding. What is the Isoplane Initiative?
So, the Isoplane Initiative is a way to try and get as many people to attend Worlds next year at Adepticon 2023. And I know that there's a bunch of people around the world that have gotten invites, because this is going to be a culmination of invites from, I think, the beginning of 2019 up until, through all the Worlds qualifier tournaments happening in the next, 2 to 3 months. And unfortunately, there are people that just can't go because of financial reasons. And my goal is to try and help those people out. So I got together with some people to help me with PR and website design and everything else, and also fundraising. And I'm if you go on Hexout Gaming's website, hexoutgaming.com/isoplane initiative, it has my mission statement, but basically what I'm trying to do. And there's a form to fill out if you're interested, or even if it's not for you, you can nominate a friend, someone you think deserves to go to Worlds. And basically, at the end, my deadline right now is around November, and I'm going to review all the applications, and based on my budget, and if we have any fundraisers or donations from people, I'm going to be sending money to them so they can buy tickets, get airfare, hotels, the cost of the convention even, just so that we can get as many people to Worlds as possible that have either, earned it through invites, or if not, I'm also wanting to support people that do good work in the community. Tournament organizers. I also want to support people who do podcasting, people who stream, people who you write blogs about X. And basically, if you are a positive force in the X community, let me know, and I will try my best to help you get to Worlds and make your dream come true. So we can all basically get together, have fun, play X-wing, roll dice, and make pew pew sounds at each other. And that's my goal for the next couple of months, to try and build up the community and support as much as I can for this.
Yeah. So before, in the pre-show, we were talking a little bit about how this came up. Like, where did give me the story on how this unhatched.
So it's a really silly story. During Gen Con, we were watching stream, and I was chatting with some people, namely I'm going to mention Funwalk, and he was joking with me that I should use my vast richness to buy an entire airplane.
Right.
And just buy an airplane and ship people from around the world to send them to Worlds. And I was like, no, I can't. I don't have that much money. I can't buy an airplane. That's ridiculous. But then I started thinking, like, well, if I can't buy an airplane, well, maybe I could, like, what do you call it? Sponsor some people, or maybe help with travel stipends for some people, and get, again, just kind of help them out. Basically, if like a couple $100 is all it takes for you to pull the trigger and make the decision to attend Worlds, hey, just let me know, and I would try my best to help you. And that's kind of how that started. And we got to talk with Funwalk, and got some other people involved, and it kind of blew up into this whole thing, and kind of a little more than I was expecting. But hey, it looks great. And just also to mention, on that website, as a fundraiser, Laurel, he does metal tokens. I don't know if you saw the 186 Squadron has some metal objective tokens. He's going to make some metal objective tokens for me, and we're going to sell them through his store, and all the profits from that will go towards my budget to basically send out and help him get to Worlds.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it definitely was one of these things where it kind of cropped up overnight. Like, we finished Gen Con, and then you sent me a link, and I was like, what? What happened? So yeah, it was pretty cool to see how quickly it got pulled together. And yeah, I mean, so it sounds like let's say, so for instance, like, obviously, I live in Chicago, right? Like, I don't need help to get to Worlds, because you're coming to my house, X-Wing community, for Worlds. So how are the different ways I can help? So it sounds like I could pick up some some commemorative metal objective tokens. Is there what if I want to give a couple $100 to put into it? $5 even. If I just want to donate to the cause, how would I help with that?
Yep. So on that website, towards the bottom, there's a section that says, how to support. My Discord is on there, so feel free to reach out to me. If you want to help out, send some money to me. I'll add it to my overall pool, and from there, once I get a list of everyone who's applying, I'll go through my applications and pick who I'm going to support. So unfortunately, it depends on how many people apply. And that will affect how many people I can help. My priorities, we talked this through with my group, and I'm going to try and support people who, first off, have a Worlds invite. So people who first have a Worlds invite, again, from the past 3 years, they're my top priority. After that will be, again, the people who are, I call them the positive force in the community, again, like the podcasters, streamers, tournament organizers, people that you can say, if this person didn't exist in our group, we wouldn't have a group. Think people like that, where they are definitely keeping the X-Wing alive in their community. And then lastly are going to be people who's like, you know what, this is my dream. Let me please, if I have anything left over, I will try and see what I have left for them. But it's going to be it's my bucket list to go to Worlds. This is my one and only chance. I really would like to go to Worlds. I hope AMG is going to do a last chance qualifier like FFG did in the past. I don't think we've heard any talk about that yet.
So
but if
I can't say anything official. But with in my meeting that I had with the head of Adepticon, it was expressed that is a priority, and I didn't get a yes. I got a, well, yeah, that makes sense. So, again, I can't confirm nor deny, but you know that when I'm in the meetings, it's gonna be talked about because it 100% makes sense to have it. And for Adepticon, I mean, let's just talk business here just for a second, right? Time out. Charity? Nah. Business. For 1 minute, last chance qualifiers equals more people going to Adepticon. Period. End of story. So why wouldn't you? As long as they have the floor space for it.
Yeah, exactly. So the last group, like you mentioned, would be people who don't have an invite, really want to try it out. And if I have any money left over at the end, that's my last group. But then it depends on how many people are going to apply for the top two, my basically group A and group B. And a little bit of just legal stuff. Then I'm going to make the decisions. So I will try my best to be fair to everybody. For example, if I have two people, one person needs a full ride. They need $1,500 for an airfare, for the hotel, for the whole thing, versus someone just needs like a top off. They need just a couple $100 to make ends meet for the month, but then they can use that money to get to Worlds. I'm probably going to prioritize the person that only needs like just $200-300 versus the full 1,500. Just because that way I can help 5 people instead of just one person.
Right.
May not be fair, unfortunately, for people from like Australia, because I know Australia probably has the highest cost to get to us compared to any other country. But I'm going to try my best to be fair and my priority is as many people. That's my priority.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I mean in the end, and I know. Like sometimes with stuff like this, you'll get people who nitpick at it because they'll talk about the fairness, and I'm sure that's something that is in the back of your mind, how people will react to it. But I mean, I will white knight for you all day, Daniel. I hope you know that because in the end, you're just trying to help people, right? So it doesn't hurt. My encouragement to people is if you need it, apply. All right. And if it works out, then that's awesome. Then that's I think it's important to go into it with the right mindset, whether it is that you are planning on helping with the initiative or you would like to ask for help. I think that's great. Will, James, Ryan, you guys have any questions for our man Daniel, aka Isophane? I know he's got to get down to dinner, so we don't want to keep him too long.
Yep, I can hear my kids screaming in the back.
Isophane, you're going to Worlds though, all right? You're gonna be
that's
there?
The plan. Yeah, that's the plan. I'll be there.
Awesome.
Do we need an ISO plane for Isophane? No, I think that everything you're doing is amazing, and very, very jealous that I didn't think of the idea in the first place.
Well, everyone's more than welcome to help out. Like I said, I have a set budget for what I can work with, but the more people that donate or fundraise or anything that you can help with will basically just go to hopefully another person or two that can make it to Worlds that otherwise wouldn't be able to go.
Awesome. Well, Daniel, we'll let you go so that what are you guys having for dinner? I'm gonna guess tacos.
No, beef stroganoff.
Beef stroganoff, of course. I was gonna say pasta too, and
it's close.
I miss. All right, my friend. Thank you so much for being willing to carry that flag, being the head of that initiative, and also to Funwhack and his minions for being like, We should do this. Haha. Wait. No, seriously, you should do it.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him joking around, it wouldn't happen.
That's right, man. Well, thank you so much. To end the call, you literally just closed the window, but thank you so much for your time, my friend.
All right. Have a good night.
That's awesome. That is super cool how, like, the seed of an idea, like, that's the best part of this, like, community grassroots type of things that happen where it's just like, we should do a thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's definitely not something I expected to ever occur next spring, to be quite honest. I mean, the closest thing we had, and I don't know if maybe I either missed it or this was another thing that may have sparked some of the conversation that Funwalk brought up, was for people who don't know, Christopher Patrick originally wasn't going to go to Gen Con, but Scott from Hexiled set up a couple days out of the stream a few weeks prior to Gen Con and said, like, let's donate some money to get Crispy, their, at the time, Kyber League champion and winner of Solist or Malachor. Which one was it?
Solist.
Solist, thank you. To go to Gen Con. They, the community of Hexile Gaming wanted him to represent, and they got him there. So it's been done for one person, and Isophane wants to do it for many more. And I wish him the best in organizing and doing all this. I have no idea how many things is going in to getting this all set up, organized to be as fair as possible. His criteria, his hierarchy that he has set up that makes a lot of sense. Trying to spread it out more than filling up just a couple people with like a full ride. It's a good thing. So I would hope, like we mentioned, that the community receives this ultimately positively, no matter what happens, whether some people who may not get or will get. I just keep this positive, everyone. That's all I'm asking, because I know my concern was the people who ask for it, don't get it, and then get really vocal about it.
Right.
So just don't be that person.
Right. And I'm
Yeah.
Go ahead, Will.
Oh, it's a charity, man. Like, it's only positive vibes. So hopefully everyone can make it to Worlds. That's already has an invite or wishes to go, but because I would like to see you there.
That's
I
right.
would like to turn the only Midwest famous to the world famous Sarah's Cookies.
We see your true intentions.
What? There have been people who have legitimately asked me, "Can you, like, how well do those send in the mail?" I go, "I don't know, man. They stay fresh pretty long, but I can't guarantee anything."
They're going to be world's famous cookies now.
Nice. That's awesome. Somebody says, silly question. Where is Worlds being held? It's being held at Adepticon. If you guys remember last year, GSP crew, we put on a good show. And also, my fellow TOs who did Legion, my Marvel Crisis Protocol, and Armada, they also kicked butt. And we knocked it out of the park. And essentially, in my opinion, our superb performance as TOs there is the reason why Worlds is coming to Adepticon. So, it's pretty cool. Like, this is my favorite part of, like, communities is when you have these different groups that are working on different things that all end up working together, right? Because the reality is, like, so for us, we as Gold Squadron, we have our hands in so many things that this is not something that we could have spearheaded, right? And it's awesome to hear that it is happening. So I was like, oh, that's amazing. We don't have time to help with that, but yeah, do it, right? And it's only gonna make Worlds, that event, even more special. So that's super cool. JTL says GSP needs to run Worlds. Maybe.
Look, all I told Dion is if they actually legitimately ask him to, pay the man. Like, real true, hard-earned, because you've done everything. You've proven it, like you said, the last Adepticon. There ain't no more proven time. You've proven it already.
I have a resume. You simply need to read it.
Theoretically, you give a resume now for the physical event with last Adepticon and every online event you've done for the past year and a half, 2 years. What is it now? Time is weird with the COVID.
3?
Can't be 3 already, right? Like 3 years ago was 2019. Wait.
I was two and a half.
It's at the end of 19, so we're at 2.5 right now.
All right, time's weird.
Time is weird.
Yeah.
Time is weird.
Time is stretched and also shrunk within COVID.
Yeah. No, it's super exciting. Like my hopes were just like, well, we get to do Adepticon again, right? Like, that was the what do I say, the wish list, but like for them to make it Worlds is going to be an honor for sure.
Yeah, when we do it so good, they make it Worlds.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely awesome. So, today, we didn't have any premiere events that happened over the weekend. We're coming kind of still off of Gen Con and all that. But we have events in the wings, things that are coming up. Let's go ahead and just talk about that first. So we have August 27th to the 28th, the Oricon Galactic Qualifier. That's in the Eastern United States time zone. That's the next premier level GSP event online that's happening. The third qualifier. It's been a while because of vacation stuff. So we had the beginning of 1 month, and this is happening at the end of another. But that's around the corner. We have the Nova Open, September 2nd through the 4th. I'll be over there. After that, September 17th to the 18th, we got Korriban, another galactic qualifier. So we have these events that are different premier level qualifying events. And I just wanted to kind of take an opportunity to talk a little bit about, specifically to reflect on one thing. As I've been thinking about our interview with Duncan, looking at his list, the call to take Corky Kreese on his lat kept, itching at the back of my head, mostly because that's a card when Duncan handed me his list to input for the stream, my brain went, I don't know what this is. I had zero ideas what that upgrade is. I'm sure some people did, but the vast majority of people were asking on stream, what does Corky Kreese do? I just kept seeing that question over and over again because so many people didn't know. So the title of this section is Underused and Unexpected. I wanna dig in that card box a little bit for maybe those pilots or upgrades that we haven't seen in the limelight that may have some legs, but we haven't maybe quite found their place in the right combinations for it to do something like win a world qualifier. Because part of winning a world qualifier, you of course have to be a good player, right? Make good decisions. You need a little bit of luck, and you need a list that works, right? You need to make sure that everything in that list is has some purpose, and being able to find just some of that secret sauce is absolutely awesome. So let's just go ahead and start digging. I put it on our notes, and you guys have been typing in some cards, guys. So let's dig. Whoever wants to go first, feel free. And I'll pull up the cards for us.
All right, I will go first. Let's start with an astromech. This is R5X3.
R5X3. So let's take a look here. Let me pull up a window so we can make this happen. go to that Yazb.app card browser, and you said, what was this?
Let's put it on a T70 first. So just throw it on a T70. This is R5X3, a resistance only astromech, who is unique.
All right. So what does that do?
All right. So R5X3 has 2 charges, non-recurring. Before you activate or engage, you may spend 1 charge to ignore obstacles until the end of this phase. So, easy example, you're parked yourself, unfortunately, right in front of an asteroid, and you're going to have to fly through it next round. You can spend a charge, go through it without any of its penalties. A separate situation, you find yourself on top of a gas cloud they can no longer shoot from. You can spend a charge to allow yourself to shoot off of that obstacle right before you engage. Now, that's just the baseline, like pretty good, like 5-point collision detector for your astromech-based ships. It's Fireball, Y-Wing, and T-70. I think, are the only astromech ships. So at base level, like, as good as collision detector, more or less, right? But it's the combination.
Oh, hey, you can't forget the couches. They can take astromechs.
Couches, that's why I was like, there's got to be another one.
Resistance transport, to clarify.
Yes,
Not the pod, the whole thing.
I forgot that there's other options other than R4 on them, so fair enough. There's a couple different things you could do there. Anyway, so a base value, great card. I think, to be fair, underutilized because of, can be utilized because of how intense obstacles are these days. But there's a couple combinations of upgrades that I think could really make it sing as well. Some more card binder fodder. The first one is backwards tail slide. Was what I told you to bring up a T70. Backwards tail slide is a talent.
All right, so you want me to go to the resistance, bring up a 70.
T70. Yeah, backwards tail slide. I just pull it up. I'll read it here. It says, well, you have to have a configuration, and you have to be an X-Wing. Fair enough. While you boost or barrel roll, if your equipped configuration has the close side, which would allow focus barrel roll linked action, in addition to just white barrel roll. You can move through and overlap obstacles. After you boost your barrel roll through an obstacle, if you are not range 0 of it, gain 1 evade token. So now we had to imagine you're now throwing your T70 purposefully onto an obstacle, and then as long as your template touches the obstacle when you barrel roll off of it, you not only can get a focus, a red barrel roll, and now you're getting an evade token as well. And you only used 1 charge from your R5X3 because you don't need it. You don't need to use it to engage because you're no longer on the obstacle. So that is pretty fun. If you're 9-nub as well, you clear the stress. Pretty fun. Then, this is where it gets interesting. I actually want you to pull up the Y-Wing F-Tab Akbar.
F-Tab Akbar. So this is a resistance Y-Wing.
Resistance Y-Wing, yep.
All right.
Now, obviously, any Y-Wing can also take Terraform Belly Run with this droid. Terraform Belly Run allows you to perform special attacks even at range 0 of asteroids. Then while you defend, if you're range 0 of an obstacle, attack dice cannot be re-rolled. So you get an extra agility, hopefully, because you're obstructing while you're on top of this asteroid. and as well, they can't reroll any dice against you. So a big defensive bonus, actually. And then this has, in this situation, you could R5X3 onto the obstacle. You could still shoot the belly run, probably your ion cannon turret or dorsal turret at that point. And then because of obstacle rules now, another big change to R5X3, when you leave the obstacle, you're not penalized again. So you actually do not have to spend that second R5X3 charge for leaving the obstacle. The reason I bring up, though, Aftab Akbar is that he actually has 2 talent slots, which means he could take Trick Shot as well. So in this instance, you can add Trick Shot and actually Engine Upgrade. Yeah, that fits with an ion cannon turret. So Aftab could actually boost onto an obstacle, get a calculate, and get a potentially 5 dice trick shot ion cannon turret, which is, that would be spicy to pull off.
Yeah, and automated target priority.
Sure. Yeah, that would fit in there as well. You lose out on bombs, but whatever. That's not Aftab's job. His job is to.
That's not part of my job description.
No, my job is to fly in positions that you would never expect a ship to be, which is right on top of the biggest rock on the battlefield.
And what's interesting with that, I don't know if Ryan, you were about to say this, but you can actually move onto the rock, shoot your ion cannon, and when you move off, you don't even have to suffer the effect the second turn without having to spend another charge.
Yeah, you could do that 2 rounds in a row as well, because you get 2 R5X3 charges.
This is where I wanted to get to, though. So R5X3 is not like collision detector. It specifically says you may, before you activate or engage, you spend 1 charge in which you have 2 to ignore obstacles to the end of this phase. So when you're activating
all obstacles.
When you're activating and moving, that's your activation phase. You don't ignore in the shooting phase if you're sitting on an obstacle.
But Tier 5 lets you shoot the ion cannon.
That would be your only combo.
Yeah,
you need to spend both charges in successive phases.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do bring up a good point, though. That unlike collision detector that calls out a specific obstacle, the R5X3 ignores all obstacles. So you could hit 2 of them. Yeah, 5 or Aftab can't do it, but in theory you could 4 forward right through 2 obstacles and then boost onto a third. You ignore all obstacles.
Yeah, but it is just for that phase. So
True. You do need belly run. That's kind of the combination for the Y-Wing, at least.
For the X-Wing, it would be if you're staying on the rock during your shooting phase, you're going to need to spend both.
Yeah, it's like a different... It's definitely a worse collision detector, but it has its advantages.
When it's not available, or you can't pay for collision detector.
Yeah, or you don't have the slot.
I mean, it's also 4 points less than a collision detector as well, so getting some value out of it. But yeah, I don't understand why people aren't flying it more. Super great, whether you're Jess Bava, any Y-Wing with belly run, or just anybody trying to do backwards tail slide, which is another deep cut.
I mean, maybe even with objectives, being able to. I know in most of the games that I play, there's usually at least one objective blocked off by a rock where either myself or the opponent has placed it right in front of it and says, if you want to get to this, you're going to have to go around, right? Or you're taking a not as convenient path. So maybe cards like this, if you're starting to build a list that's, Ryan, you've been calling it PvE, right? Kind of or not PvP, right? If your goal is I'm going to beat you on objectives, not destroy your list, maybe this is a type of tech that you need to start looking at so that you can get into places where people aren't expecting you to be. I like it. Ryan, give me some. Dig in that card binder. What do you got?
Let's go with an upgrade that any faction can use. So you can figure out where you want to use it best. One of our favorite pirates himself, Hondo Onaka. I think this is something that a lot of people should look at, because range 3, coordinate, and jam is really good, both for you on the positive side and against opponents on the negative side. Hondo is an action crew. It says choose 2 ships at range 1 to 3, not 0 to 3, of you that are friendly to each other. So they are the 2 ships. You have to pick 2. If there's not 2 in range, it's not going to work unless you pick ships from the other player, right? So if you want to coordinate and jam 2 of your ships, but you don't have 2 ships, you got to look at your opponent to see if you can do that. Coordinate one of those chosen ships and jam the other, ignoring range restrictions. You're just following the range restriction of Hondo's choosing 2 ships at range 1 to 3. So for how common, especially on the enemy side, right, that there are one big focus centerpiece thing. So like, let's say Vader, a Reaper and some ties, or Vader and a bunch of ties, or Poe and a bunch of Ys, or Pod or something, whatever, right? Your big ace and a bunch of ships. It's a lot more beneficial to jam that opposing big ship or more expensive ace than it is to coordinating one of a HUD fodder guys, right? Especially if you are in a situation where you are allowed to coordinate them when they're stressed. They just can't do the action because they're stressed, which can happen a lot more commonly now when you have ships that end up in the scrum taking their bump stress focus. So whether it's the turn after when they're still stressed or the same turn that they bumped already and you're doing a Hondo after them, you can take advantage of jamming something further away and coordinating something that doesn't matter. On your side of things, the positive end of it, coordinate your range 3 is very far. It's a much bigger range band, obviously. And all you have to do to mitigate the jam is either A, pick a ship that's not going to be in combat, or B, any ship that has capability of lock rocks anywhere near you, and that jam, you can choose to jam that dud lock anyway.
Yeah, I've like what you said in that last bit where you take the precautionary lock like turn 1. I've started to do that in almost all of my games, even if I don't have any jam mechanics or my opponent doesn't have any jam mechanics, just to get myself in the habit. Because stuff like this, like if someone wants to jam me and I already have that lock, and I don't have a focus or anything, they have to jam that lock off first, which is kind of protection against this and for this if you're taking it.
Now, the one thing you could look around for in other factions, specifically, like you're trying to say, all right, what, besides just having access to a crew slot, is it going to be more valuable for me to have Hondo at a lower initiative or at a higher initiative? You have clearly ships that are I6 that have crew slots in this game, whether it's any version of Han Falcon, whether it's, well, I guess 2 versions of Han Falcon right now because they banned the Resistance one. But hey, that Poe one's coming out. That will be crazy. You have, for Empire, you got the Decimators who could still take Force Crew that can still mod their offense at least. You have something as small as a pod in Resistance. Not BB-8, he doesn't have enough points for Hondo. He only has 4. But you have Rose, who normally would take C-3PO, but hey, farther distance coordinate. You have other couches.
You mentioned C-3PO as a note, and I thought C-3PO worked with Hondo in that interaction.
Yes. So anything, even though Hondo doesn't say it's a coordinate action, you're just performing coordinate, akin to something like when ailerons say boost. It's a boost, but not a boost action. Little Anakin's barrel roll. It's a barrel roll, but it's not a barrel roll action. Same thing. Stuff that triggers off of coordinate can still trigger off Hondo. So look around and find some of those triggers and see if you can get that in.
So could Hux trigger off that?
Maybe.
Because Hux says,
I think he specifically asked.
well, you
for
perform a
white
white coordinate action.
Yep. It's not a white coordinate action. It is a coordinate you performed.
Okay, so it's a white coordinate, but not an action.
No, it's not a.
Yeah,
yes.
it is a white coordinate.
I guess it is technically white coordinate,
Yeah.
but yes, not an action.
Okay, all right. I was like, ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, C-3PO, just like C-3PO crew and resistance says, while you coordinate, you can choose friendly ships beyond range 2 if they have the calculate action bar, and after you perform the calculate, you gain element. So when you perform a coordinate from Hondo, should allow you to trigger the but see that I guess that's the confusing part, I guess, on that. If you're saying the coordinate action, C-3PO does ask for coordinate action.
Yeah, but that'd be a rules clarification we may need to do, because
It's. I guess I was referring to the top part where it says you could do friendly ships.
Yeah.
Which would work, but also you can coordinate and Hondo in the same round if you have a way to get multiple actions.
ooh,
So with
that's-
Hondo, you can double, if you can do more than one action, you can double coordinate or double jam.
that's spicy.
Yeah, looking at a quick list of things you can do. Protectorate Gleb also synergizes with that, and Grief Karga allows you to coordinate allied ships as if they were friendly. And after you coordinate a ship, it may acquire a lock on an object you have locked. No, that talks about coordinate action.
Lando with you do K2SO to get some extra jams out there.
Yeah, another way to do the same action twice. Mm-hmm.
You're talking Lando Falcon with Hondo crew and K2SO crew specifically.
Yep.
Yes, yeah, correct.
Yep. So yeah, Hondo can be used in many places. Find ways where you can double up on stuff, or things that just ask to have a coordinate occur.
Yeah.
They have some extra bonuses.
Yeah, as long as it's profitable for him. Yeah, I got a fun one. So I have some FO shenanigans, and it's Agent Terex in the Xi class light shuttle, handing out some illicits to some TIE FO or TIE SF friends.
All right, so I pulled them up here. So it says, set up after placing forces, choose any number of equipped illicit upgrades and equip them to friendly TIE FO or TIE SFs. Each ship can be assigned only one illicit this way.
Yeah, so some of those illicits that it could be would be Dead Man's, Cloaking Device, Contraband Cybernetics, False Transponder Codes, Overtune Modulators, Feedback Array, and Rid Cargo Shoot, but I don't think you can't really pass Rid Cargo to anybody.
The Hotshot Tail Blaster and Rid Cargo would not be allowed. They do require a medium base.
You could keep it for yourself, but
Obviously,
really, with this, you're trying to throw them.
Dion, last time you were talking, the chat says you may have been muted, just so you know.
I saw it.
Okay.
It was just James just transitioned to his spot without any aid or guidance. He got it.
So good. So some of those things that I was thinking about would be Commander Malorus and the TIE FO, giving Malorus Contraband Cybernetics, because Malorus has to take that stress to do the Glitter Sim effect. Could 4K or 2 sloop that turn after and do it again with another lock. So could cluster 2 turns in a row after doing a sloop or a K turn with that Contraband Cybernetics. Could be pretty spicy because we're seeing a lot of Malorus around. You could also throw a cloaking device to somebody, getting Scorch or Backdraft or one of these other TIE FOs or TIE SFs up there really quickly with that cloaking device could be helpful, and or just keeping it alive with those 2 extra agility. And then the other one I was thinking about was false transponder codes with Revis after he. After someone else locks someone at range 1 to 2 of him, he can lock them and then get false transponder codes off. So there's lots of those little elicits that you don't see too often in some of these factions that could be really interesting and spice up the gameplay for something that someone may not expect, like oh, Revis, he's gonna get his lock, whatever, it doesn't matter. Oh, that lock comes with the jam. Oh, okay, that's bad.
Bonus.
Yeah. Or maybe like Tina with the dead man switch, because you're gonna blow her up anyway, so you might as well blow her up bigger.
Yeah,
Fair.
I was thinking overtuned modulators for quick draw.
Yep.
Allowing them to just come in there and take a chugger lock, and has enough calculates for 2 shots.
Yeah. Overtuned is another good one. I know Quick Draw is a little expensive, and we haven't seen too much of her, so that could kind of give her a little bump up that she may need.
You know, one of the things with Agent Terex is, like, as more elicits are released, it's one of those that I feel that you always have to go back and look at it. And I think the day Agent Terex reigns supreme is the day that somebody actually considered it and went, wait a second. And finds the secret sauce. Because everything you're talking about has that potential to really pop. Because the thing is, like, I think if they gave Agent Terex a couple more points, right? A couple more points of loadout, and he was able to give out those elicits and be a little bit more effective during the game, because he was able to use his talent and crew to have a few more shenanigans. I think he'd be a menace.
Yeah, because as it stands, there's really not a lot for him to do on the field once he's thrown those elicits. I mean, I guess you can put like tactical officer on there, and then a talent, but there's not a lot of other slots or points left over for him to do.
Yeah, so could be something really cool in the future. I like it. I'm a fan. So for myself, I know I didn't get an opportunity to write it, but I was literally thinking of the Pride of Mandalore pack. So whoever typed that in for me, you the real one. All right.
I got you, DM.
All right.
Will's taking all my credit.
So, I will tell you, out of all the cards in the game, the cards that I have spent the least amount of time with have been the cards from the Pride of Mandalore. And I think that's mostly just because it came out at a time where I wasn't physically opening up packages, and I have a bunch of stuff still in boxes. And for me, actually being able to sit down and read the cards and process them is what really works for me. So I went ahead and I was going through, was like, what don't I recognize? What is it, the ones that I see, like, I have no idea what this does. And it ended up being two out of the 3 that got put on that list are them. So we'll start by talking about Captain Hark. It's an Imperial only. The Captain Hark. Okay, it is currently only 3 points, only three loadout points, single crew, and is after you fully execute a red maneuver. If you are not focused, you may spend 1 charge of 2 to gain 1 focus token. Now these charges aren't recurring. And in a lot of the spots right now where we see crew being used, a lot of times Empire takes force. But what I like Captain Hark for is, even though this is only 2 charges, generally a game is going, 5 to 7 turns is about what it is. And if you were unable to afford a force crew, or maybe you want 2 force crew, you can pseudo kind of have that for 2 turns if you have enough loadout. Now, right now for Empire, we have the Reaper, the Gauntlet, and the Decimator, who are your crew carriers. But when I look at Captain Hark, it looks to me like a value proposition on being able to get that focus token for 2 turns where it really matters. And because it's only on red maneuvers, 2 of them sounds very reasonable. It sounds really reasonable. It's not an action. All right, it's not an action, so obviously you can do it while stressed. There's no penalty with that. But if you have some way, let's say you were able to do a red maneuver for some reason and be able to get an action, you can still do this, get this focus token, even if you had somehow been forced to do a focus action earlier, or who knows why. But it's a pretty nifty card that allows you, that gets around a lot of the penalties for the red maneuvers. And at 3 points, I think that is cheap. That sounds so cheap for what it is, because essentially it's a 2-time use contraband cybernetics for crew carriers in Empire. So something to watch out for. Gotta love it. We have any other ones we want to throw in there, guys?
I just want to note before we leave on Captain Hark, on a Reaper, you can take Ion Limiter Override, which allows you to take a barrel roll. Then you might take a Strain or an Ion, which your Reaper probably doesn't care about either one of those. But being able to barrel roll and focus whenever you sloop or stop, man. Plus ailerons before those as well can really put you into some fun positions.
That's awesome. I hadn't even considered the Ion Limiter combo there. So good. So good.
Yeah. Dial a stop, and you have an option to boost beforehand and then barrel roll as well. So
Dirty.
Pick it up and put it wherever you want.
Gotta love that. Gotta love that. Any other cards that we want to throw out there, Ryan? I see you had a couple other ones written down.
We'll go. I think Garth, speaking to Pride of Mandalore in cards that people may not have picked up yet. Garsax and Gunner in Scum. Similar to the effect of some people looking at Seventh Sister crew when things are stressing themselves, or when things are straining for certain effects, or getting strained from Notorious. Garsax and it even just locks. Like if you lock them, Garsax and Gunner is 6 points. I think he was like 10 or 8 before.
That's gone
high.
down.
One consequence clause is the first sentence for him, which is while you perform a lock action, you can only choose objects in your front and back arc. So it can't be in not those arcs if you want to lock. But while you perform a primary attack, if the defender's in your front or back arc, you may remove 1 orange or red token from the defender to roll 1 additional die to a max of 4. So one of my favorite ships to put this on right now is Manaroo. You have Garsax and Gunner, R5 P8, Punishing 1, Contraband, Notorious. So you could have any one of your teammates lock your target, and if you don't use that lock, you can use Garsax and Gunner. You could say if they shoot you, they get strained, and if they're stressed and strained, you can choose between one of those 2 tokens to get rid of to use Garsax and make it 4 dice. Basically threatening Manaroo to always shoot 4 dice. I kind of go back and forth between contraband or overtune, because you could overtune, take a lock, and now you just have Gar Saxon already active with your own lock without anyone else doing anything. So even if they choose to not shoot you to not get strain, you still will get your 4 dice, because you can just overtune, lock, spend that lock, use your reroll from R5P8, and spend all your calculations that you may need to for the shot. But there are plenty of other ships too. I saw someone who I played against put it on a Falcon, and with Lando, with the Lando Falcon title, with Gar Saxon, and they had oddly enough a Cad Bane running around with homing missile, and just said, "I'm gonna lock you. Would you like to take that shot, or just let me do a damage?" Well, if you let you do a damage, the lock stays there, which means Gar Saxon can take advantage of it. And if Cad Bane was stressed, he'll just pass a stress to you also with Cad Bane Scum. So there's a couple combinations Scum can do to set this up in multiple platforms to give you 4 dice, which is scary when it's modded really well, such as the Manaroo or whatever you want to load out your Scum Falcon with, or whatever else gets a gunner. There's plenty of other options in Scum to do it. And it's a way to get 4 attack dice without requiring a lock, which when chaff clouds are out there right now, can be very beneficial.
Yeah, they're throwing off someone's jam that they're not using. Like they've already been jammed like more than they can, and they're still holding on to the jam. And just spending that unused jam to throw another attack die is pretty cool.
Yeah, how many times have you so say you put this in a list with something that throws chaff cloud, like a fire spray, right? So they throw out the chaff cloud, someone goes through it, and they land on it, so they get jammed, they lose all their locks, so now they can't perform an action to clear the jam. Gar Saxon says hello. Who cares if you still got that jam token? I can eat it for an extra attack dice.
Yeah, it turns out Gar Saxon could go on that fire spray that happened to be launching the chaff cloud.
Another suggestion we got was from Marcel. He's not available to be on the cast today, but he's like, "Hey, here's another idea: a YV 666." I just pulled up Moralo here with Gomet Key, Lando Calrissian crew, over 2 modulators, and that Gar Saxon as well, just to have opportunities to have rerolls and focus modifiers and 4 dice at either range 3, range 2, or range 1.
Yeah,
Just a reminder to Marcel, though, in case he has been working around the way the rules are supposed to go, Gar Saxon does only say front and back arc.
Right.
He can still get the effect because it doesn't say you have to do a front or back arc attack. They just have to be in your front.
In that front, yes, in that front.
So it's not like outmaneuver that doesn't work on a YV because it's not a front arc attack.
Right.
So yes, you will get 4 dice at all ranges in a YV in your front arc, not in your 180.
And that's usually something we don't usually see on the YV because usually that's the Greedo slot.
Right. But what if you have more than one? Somebody else got Greedo.
Marcel went with 3 of them to Gen Con, so yeah.
Gotta love it.
I just wanted to hit one here at the end. Here was Rampage for Empire. And I feel like you could build out a pretty nasty Rampage with the targeting assist, Tiber Saxon, Ion Cannon, Tractor Beam, and Ion Limiter Override. Because it turns out they have a lot of red maneuvers on that dial.
So I'm sorry, what was that loadout again? Just
Ion Limiter Override Talent, and then Tractor Beam, Ion Cannon, Tiber Saxon Gunner, and Targeting Assist. Hey, you got it.
So what is here's another card I've never heard of. Tiber Saxon. What's a Tiber?
This is one that Will and I have been playing around with a couple times, and we both liked it. So after you perform an attack, it's an Imperial Gunner. After you perform an attack that at range 1 to 2 that hits, if the defender has no face-up damage cards, you may spend 1 or more charges for each charge spent. The defender gains 1 strain token. It comes with 2 charges, 1 recurring. So basically, if you hit somebody with this ion cannon or tractor beam, you can give them 1 or 2 strain as long as it's at range 1 to 2. Which would be pretty nasty if you tractor beam somebody and then gave them 2 strain.
What agility!
Yeah, what agility do you think you have now? Because this ion limiter override, if you pull up that tie heavy dial, there's a lot of red on that dial. So after you do one of those red maneuvers, you can perform a barrel roll action even while stressed. And you roll an attack die on a hit, gain a strain, or on a crit, gain an ion. Turns out ion is not very detrimental for these heavy or these medium-based ships. So you have to do it twice to even get ionized, and even then, ion isn't so terrible anymore, being able to still do that 1 bank with that turret.
Because you were probably doing the 1 bank anyway.
Probably doing the 1 bank anyway. So yeah, now I 1 bank in blue. Thank you. So yeah, I think these tie heavies do have, and Rampage's ability is also just like super good, being able to give out strain tokens. So you give out a strain token, hit someone easier with that tractor beam or ion cannon, and then give them another strain or 2 on top of that. So could be pretty detrimental.
So Rampage, I know when it comes to pilots are always tough because is it the 5 points right now that's holding it back? When you got when you got Jingo Wampa out there being like, I'll just take up most of those points anyway. Is that what's holding it back right now?
I'll defer to maybe Will or Ryan on this because I don't play a lot of Empire.
Yeah, so I mean, wow, the control of this build is amazing. The damage output almost non-existent. And that's, I think, the problem with the heavies. They either have to rely on the long-range attacks through like synced laser cannon to be doing some like meaningful damage, and they don't really have like those like a 4 or 5. I don't know, that's reaching, but they don't have like great 4 or 5 dice damage-doing attacks. And that's my problem with them. Is that like I get Rampage into range 1, and he does 1 damage, right?
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
I mean, you can slap heavy laser cannon on it, but again, like, yikes! Trying to line up the bullseye.
Yeah, I mean, you could slap heavy laser and then put the maneuver assist on there, and it could be
true. You get the white barrel roll that way.
The white into red calculate as well.
I mean, if you ion them first, it's a lot easier to line up the bullseye later when you know where they're going.
True.
Yeah, with that 3 Talon.
Yeah.
Real quick here, I got to shout out to Felsepto just coming for the podcast. Normally people don't gift subs on podcast day. I'm going to give him that shout out live though.
Woo. All right, Joan, I have another one, and this is arguably one of the worst upgrades in the game. So
what? The worst update grades in the game?
One of the worst upgrades in the game.
What?
We are looking at the 1-point force talent predictive shot.
What? This is terrible. Why are we talking about predictive shot?
Yes, I know. Boo, predictive shot. Yes. So let's take a look at predictive shot here. I'll read it for those who
no one knows what this says.
Who's never read this card. Predictive shot, again, 1 point force talent. After you declare an attack, so this would be before dice are rolled, if the defender is in your bullseye, you may spend 1 force. If you do, during the roll defense dice step, the defender cannot roll more defense dice than the number of your hits or crit results. So I got a bullseye attack. I spend a force, I roll out a single hit. My opponent, then, the defender, can only roll a single green die to defend against it.
Even if they have 3 agility.
Yes, because they're limited to the amount of hits I rolled.
So
dice.
Will, I'm going to double down just because I know people are going to ask. So it doesn't matter. Obstruction doesn't matter.
Nothing
Tactical
matters.
scrambler, none of that. It's just raw dice.
Yep. As you know, it doesn't actually say primary either, so I guess you could combine this with like a heavy laser cannon, but that begins to defeat the point of this card.
This combo.
Now I want you to do something, Dion. I want you to look for. I love card browser. Shout out Yasby's card browser. The only way I can actually build squads anymore. To be like, I need a 4-point Imperial pilot with a crew, please. Thank you. I'll take that. Anyways, I want you to take that out, and I want to look for people with only force and talent slots. A newer combination to the game since the Ada came out. I think we were the first person to actually have both of those together. But now we see almost, dare I say, almost every force user has a talent slot now.
I think you put it in the wrong category, Dion.
Oops.
Yes, we are looking for slots. Get rid of your text search, and we're putting it into slots.
Yes, it should be the one right there. Yeah.
Right there. Sorry, it was the wrong one. Yeah.
You're good.
So we're looking for
force and talent, because I want to combine one of the worst bullseye mechanic cards with one of the best, which is Crack Shot. Crack Shot, as you're pulling those up, I'll read here, says, while you perform a primary attack, if the defender is in your bullseye, before the neutralize result step, you may spend 1 charge to cancel 1 evade result. So, we're looking at the list of pilots here. Look at all these people who could do it. Most of these people do have 3 attack dice primary, but there is a couple like Fifth Brother and Grand Inquisitor. The V1s, I guess, Seven Sister, do only have naturally 2 attack dice. So we're actually going to look at one of those V1s. We'll say Fifth Brother. We'll just imagine Fifth Brother has both of these equipped. So if you have that bullseye lined up, you can spend the force for a predictive shot, and then say you rolled that same situation. You rolled that 1 hit. They only get 1 dice to roll against you, but then you just crack shot it.
Yeah, best way to guarantee 1 hit. Probably in the game, I would say, almost. Like, because you can almost guarantee 1 hit.
Right, because they can't actually get more evades than you have hits. They have to roll the 1 or 2 that you roll, and you can always take away one of their evades.
Yeah, and that's if they roll the evade.
If they roll, I mean, if they blank out, save your crack shot for the next predictive shot. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. That list of pilots, though, that can take both of these slots is pretty impressive to me. Between the Ados, some of the, what are they?
V1s.
Yes, the V1s as well. And plus some rebel ships. Some Aether Sprites can.
Yeah.
And you want to go further down the rabbit hole?
Let's keep digging.
How can we combine this more?
I got you.
What you got?
So, predictive cracks. That's force talent. Astromech.
Ooh, okay.
In Republic.
Yeah.
Let's get ourselves a guaranteed crit with R7A7.
Yeah.
Oh, just crit ya. Yikes.
Yeah. Well, we're back in business, boys. We have our Auto Blaster.
Auto Blaster, back in business.
They thought they got rid of us. We're back.
Well,
I mean, actually, if you also wait, hold on. How far can Anakin go with this?
Yeah. So one other thing
It does have to be primary, though. But yes.
Yeah. One other thing is interesting that you can actually patience before this to do it.
Yes, you can patience as well if you have the force talent.
Yeah, put force talent in there.
Does it?
You have to click. It doesn't work because you can only search for 1 multiple at a time.
Oh, but I think
Ayla Sakura can do it. Obi-Wan. Let's see. Is there any? Not this Plo Koon. Shakti could do it. Another Anakin can do it.
Yeah, say this is so ridiculous. Delta 7 Anakin, predictive, crack, patience, R7A7.
Yeah, I mean,
So if he gets that range 3 bullseye lined up, and it's going to be difficult to crack through, like a obstruct he has an evade, just okay. That's
like
fine.
I don't know the math. Maybe Ryan, you could help me. But like at a certain point, that's more powerful than a heavy laser cannon. I mean, range 3 obstructed on a 3 agility ship. Like,
let's say you have the 1 force to mod your heavy laser cannon. I think if they have 3 agility, it would be better just to do the. If they have 3 agility single modded, I think it would be better to do the.
I mean, I think at a certain point when they have twice as much green dice as you have red dice, predictive shot is like gotta be the way to go.
Oh yeah,
It would
Or
be better
even-
than anything you could mod your attack dice with.
Yeah, for sure, it's better if they have more.
If you want a different astromech, you can do Ada Anakin and take Malice, predictive shot, crack shot,
Ooh,
and then whatever droid you want. You
Oh,
can take
man.
R2D2, get a health
Oh,
pack,
gain
or
the
get a
deplete?
bomb, and deplete that way.
Yeah,
This
Yeah.
is too far down the rabbit hole.
but this does damage though. In theory, like this always guarantees
And
the
you know
damage.
what? Hold on, wait. Does predictive declare attack defender?
like,
no.
I might not win, but you're gonna drop that crate. That-
You no longer have that crate.
This is the full build Anakin to make anyone concerned about any level of your bullseye. Predictive, Malice, Crack, R2, Heavy Laser Cannon. So we're gonna get there one way or another.
You're taking damage. Yeah.
you want to be close or far, whichever one.
One of
Ooh, a
them's
Kylo Whisper as well.
yeah. 'cause
There's
you
quite a
can-
few people who
the
could do
ability
that.
Forces you can flip the card.
You flip the card, yeah. You don't even need the
Yeah.
crit.
Ooh, can you predict
Nasty.
a foresight shot?
You can't.
Primary
Oh,
only.
primary,
No.
yeah. Oh,
No.
I don't
Predictive's
think it's the
anything.
Yeah,
primary.
it's the crack
Yes.
shot that you need the primary on.
Yeah. If you got double force, you
That's-
can
yeah.
predictive shot a foresight shot
But you
in
can't
the
crack shot.
activation.
Yeah, but that's bad.
Let's not do that.
I mean, you're spending 2 force to do that versus
To do a
versus
damage?
the-
Look, is it a kill shot before
I
they
mean, if
even
that's-
get in the engagement phase?
that doesn't work with crack though.
True,
No,
true,
but
true,
it-
true.
If they don't have any defensive mods because they haven't taken their action yet.
Oh
Look,
man, that's
I've done snapshot in the past. I killed stuff in the activation phase. Feels pretty good to kill
Oh, yeah.
something when they're I2 and it's an I6 that landed there. Haha, who's
Yeah.
killing who first now?
I guess so. Like that's a lot of burn 2 force to maybe do 1 damage.
Also,
When
this is way down a hole of
when-
something I would never do myself.
when you really gotta win, man. When you really gotta put that damage through to win.
Well, that's some of the fun stuff. Is we spend so much time focusing on competitive excellence. What's like the best thing to do? This is definitely sometimes the build you need to make is versus your locals, right? You got that one player who does this thing. It's like, I got to find that tech to make Larry sad. All right? I'm going. Sorry, Jeff. I'm coming at you. Sarah, you're going down. Whoever it is,
You leave my wife alone.
whoever's getting you at the table. Sometimes you got to find that weird interaction to make it happen. Oh, I love that. So whenever I see a not as known card do really well, like, I know me personally, I am not a great list builder. Like, that's not my forte. It's not my forte, but it tickles my soul when I see somebody go boom, this card that, I definitely have seen people in the chat be like, oh, I talked about Corky months ago. It's like, well, look at all you did with it, right? Like, I'm just saying. You
can talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk.
That's right.
So that you can talk later.
That's right. Correct. So, with events coming up and everything, I wanna see where the evolution of list building goes, because every event has been a little bit different. I got an idea here, boys. So to end today, I'm diverting from the plan. We're going off road. We have the Oricon Galactic Qualifier. We know that generally metas are reactive, right? Something happens, you might have a couple of people who are being proactive and finding like that cool tech, but most of the time it's reactive. If you are trying to plan, or you look at Duncan's list and you're trying to plan around that, what do you think are some of the evolutions that might happen around that list? Does anything specifically come to mind? Like, I know that's a really big question to ask.
I'll say first, and this might be a cop out, but Duncan's list is such a minority in the meta right now. Currently, right? Mm-hmm. People can pick it up, right, in some capacity, whether it's the exact same or whatever spin or twist someone thinks they're going to put on it. I don't know if it's a good idea yet to tech against it, mm-hmm, specifically, or have, like, obviously you should have more. You should probably play against something like it, just have reps and understand what it does. Mm-hmm. Or play it yourself so you can understand what it can do. But I don't know if it's going to be taken that much, because it is one of the only few Republic lists that we've seen this successful. We've seen a few make cut, but don't go too deep. It really has been the Vader, one of the two Vaders, plus many ties, maybe a Reaper, or the FO bombers, Wylo, and 2 FOs. There's kind of like the standout lists right now to have a plan for, like a mm-hmm, real plan and real tech, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that's my thing. If I were to consider anything against the Republic one, as I said, it wouldn't be tech. It would be, what should you be focus firing on, or depending on the scenario, what should be your priority, or things you need to discover and figure out. I do think, even though Hound, it's the LAT, the mm-hmm, Hound, the pilot, isn't actually delivering a lot of firepower, it is multiplying or increasing the firepower of the things that are potentially hard to bring down or hard to catch, which are the Aether sprites, whether right, it's the 7B Anakin or the Delta 7 Obi. And it's a lot, even though you have the C-3PO rerolls were there for a reason, to help keep Hound alive longer, which is one of Duncan's major decision points, because he knows once that LAT goes down, you're losing a lot of that high powered offense that it mm-hmm, can.
Absolutely, and we'll see. I just the fact that Republic, prior in Hanover, the Malachor, and there was another live event, I'm forgetting what it was, but like Republic has been trickling away, like we just haven't seen it. So I'm just wondering if the community at large sees the Republic do something at Gen Con, and maybe we start to get some people iterating inside of the Republic, because it just hasn't happened. But we'll see. I'm excited to see what happens. Now, Will, any XTC updates? What's the next thing? I know that the first stage is done. One is when does the battle begin? The next battle?
The battle begins on the 24th. You're going to be. It's the same weekend as the our online event as well. So not this weekend, next weekend, but they have just today released the top 10 finalists list, which that's 50 lists from 10 different teams. So it's a lot to dig through. So yeah, that's slowly being kind of shared around through the. I don't know if it's made it publicly yet, but it's being shared around. So teams are preparing for the finals. Which is 5 rounds on Saturday, 4 rounds on Sunday, and that's going to be pretty exciting. We'll see if people can utilize that kind of creativity. People who don't like just copy paste lists, they want to go out there and find their niche.
Yeah, those people
like proof. Yeah, I don't know why you would. Why do all that work when someone's done it before? Someone's done it for you.
That's right.
It's brilliant. But yeah, I mean that's me. I don't have time. I'm bored normally of lists that I play repetitively, so I never have time to get the reps in to be like, oh, I need like one little upgrade twist here.
Right.
Because yeah, I just like, well, that worked or it didn't.
Or you could tell somebody that you don't really care, and then it turns out you do after things are set in stone. I mean, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying.
Maybe you do care, and you gave a very specific set of options, and they chose one of those options.
I don't know.
Just say it.
When people aren't here to defend themselves, this is very easy to do.
All the love for it, Ben. I think we'll be very successful. Don't you worry.
I believe. Well, that's it for today's show, my friends. I will tell you, if you need to get a hold of me, there's a lot going on, right? We got Mission TTT. We have. I have preparations for child number 2, and I'm doing like construction work in the house and stuff, and then we got all these events we got to be traveling to. So if I seem a little sparse availability wise, that's because I am quite sparsely available, but it is going to Gen Con and seeing all those people playing X-Wing in person. It's revitalizing. Like it is such a good drive. Some people said, "Wait, what? Child number 2? Oh yeah, my wife's pregnant. She's been pregnant for a while."
There's another.
There is another.
You have a sister.
Correct. All right. Well, do y'all have anything else you wanna say? Why is it, James? I didn't know you had a cat.
Yeah, he's on Team Cat.
Team Cat.
Actually, what is the difference between your cat and Ryan's cat? Ryan, do you have a striped cat?
Mine's a gray cat, just like that. What's the color of your cat's eyes?
Green.
Same. Okay.
Copy paste. Got it.
Yeah.
Copy paste cat.
It's a Russian blue. What is yours?
Maybe a Russian blue. I don't know.
No, we had to get this one because he is hyperallergenic, and my wife is allergic. So, and he's adorable.
My cat's a girl. That's the only difference I can tell you right now.
Confirmed, not the same cat.
Yeah,
that's right. So we do have a question in the chat. It says, any chance you guys are going to the San Francisco World Qualifier? Oh, yes. So the answer to that question is a hard I can't go. It would have to be somebody else on the team to make that happen, just because it's happening.
It just got announced.
It's in November. It's like the week Devin is due.
What do you mean
Bring
you
her
can't go?
with.
Take her with. All right. Our daughter was born in San Francisco. Oh, she would be so mad. So mad. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, what day? What day
you would
is
be
it?
in wife point debt forever.
Oh yeah.
Correct. I'm like, and I'm retiring from GSP. It's over, boys. Let's see. No. It is. Let me pull it up. Yes. Thank you for the reminder. How can they sign up? They can sign up.
Oh, this is a question for Lambolo, who is running a tournament on the 24th. That's the weekend of Crate Cup. But I'll be traveling up to Minnesota to join in on an event they are running. So I was checking with them to see how many players are left, and it looks like they got just a couple slots, few remaining available. So if you're in that area, the Minnesota area, definitely try to reach out. I believe I have this information. Give me a second.
Yep, you're good. So the Golden Gate Games World Qualifiers in California, that's happening November 5th and the 6th. November 5th and 6th. And we have to work out internally what's going to happen there. We were invited. I'll tell you, we were invited to stream. And I told them, maybe, hopefully, we would like to be. Because, yeah, it's gonna be good times.
All right, so that information for Lambolo, that's coming through the West Metro Dragons, which is in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the location is going to be at the Under Pressure Brewery. So reach out to those West Metro Dragons or myself. I can direct you to sign up if you are interested. Should be a great time playing in a brewery. Yeah. What else could you ask for?
And I know our plan, even though we're not going to be able to stream because we have other things going to streaming at the same time.
Sure,
I'm going to be sending Will with some swag to that event, just as a way to support it. Lambolo's been a big supporter of ours, and just a way to say thank you. And we're going to actually put that event on our GSP affiliated events so that you guys can easily get that information. We'll put the sign up information there as well. All right. So what I want to leave you with, my friends, is do you know, have you seen these artificial intelligence art making robots?
Yes.
That exists.
I don't think they're an actual physical robot.
They are
but sure,
physical
yes.
robots that are scribbled dibbled.
I'm painting? Like out there painting
No,
with
I'm
brushes?
just kidding. It's
Okay.
an A. It's
I was
an
going to
AI.
say, that's impressive.
So it is really funny when, like, the computers are amazing, but they're dumb at the same time. And so I was messing with one and was trying to see like what Gold Squadron related thing could I try to get an AI to create. I tried putting in just like how would it react to Gold Squadron podcast, and it was like completely random. It was used to color gold, like that was cool, but it was really random. But where I had some absolutely hilarious success was when I asked it to draw an angry looking violin with a face in order to choose violence, and this is what I got. All right,
Oh, that's so great.
I think the top left one is the best.
the top left one is the best. I agree, and I think I was gonna ask. I think we should make one of these an emote in our Twitch chat. Do you guys think the top left is the correct choice?
I would just think like just the head of the top left, just that face, just so frowny and angry.
So much anger.
So much anger.
Yeah, but the bottom left one looks so angsty.
I kind of don't even know what's happening in the bottom left.
I feel like yeah, he's got words to speak, but he's got no mouth to do it from.
Top right gives me a Salvador Dali feel with that like the mustache look.
Yeah.
Yep, I could see that.
The bottom right one just looks like a deformed, like a baby's head.
Yes,
it's got some.
If his eyebrows were pointing down, he would be so much more angrier. But the fact that they're pointing up makes him very surprised and confused to find himself as a violin.
It's like, what happened here? What happened here? All right, everybody. Well, with that, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out. Stay smart and be safe. Gold Squadron. See you guys on Wednesday. Well, see Will and James on Wednesday. All right? Out.